is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we have another Glock clone that we're going to talk about. This one here is from Zro Delta, and the model number is the FKS-9. So it's Zro FKS. Clever little model number for Zro Delta. That's kind of fun. Two quick things I want to tell you about this gun before I get into the typical review. One, they're taking pre-orders right now. I've had this one since May, but the available for the public date is at the end of September. So you can pre-order it now. As we go through it, if it's your jam, you can pre-order it. There's a link down you know where, and it should start shipping soon. Second, it does take Gen 3 Glock parts, like a lot of the Glock clones out there. The last two Glock related videos I've done, I didn't mention that, and I felt bad, and you yelled at me, and I cried. Not really. Anyway, the magazines, it comes with one magazine, which is always a bummer. We always want more, but it comes with one. It's a 15 rounder normally, or a 10 rounder if you're not in a free state. And I think it's a Magpul magazine, but I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm reviewing a bunch of Glock related stuff right now, and all my magazines get jumbled, so I don't know what came with it, but I think it is a Magpul magazine, which is fine. The grip on the gun is my favorite feature. My favorite thing on the gun is going to be the grip. I believe it is made by Grit Grips because it looks just like the Grit Grips grip. Say that 5 times fast. But I don't know that for sure. The things I like about it, the grip angle I personally like more than a Glock. It doesn't have that Glock hump. It's more like an 18-degree, 1911 type grip angle, and it feels really good in my hands. The trigger guard has a nice cut up on the trigger guard, and the texture on the grip is probably my favorite thing. It's weird, like up against your skin, it doesn't feel very aggressive. So if you carry appendix and you don't wear an undershirt, it's not going to rip up your skin, but when you grip it, it feels grippier. Magic voodoo going on that I don't understand, but either way, I think the grip looks great. I think it feels great, and it's very good when it's shooting. The grip gets an A for me. Magazine release is fine. It's easy to reach, easy to press, drops the magazines freely. The one thing I noticed on the website, it said it's a reversible magazine release for you lefty people. And I thought Gen 3 Glocks were not reversible, but I don't remember the last time I reviewed a Gen 3 Glock, so I don't know. But either way, the website says it's reversible, and you can't put anything on the internet that's not real. Before we get into the trigger, I had too much caffeine today. Before we get into the trigger, I want to quickly thank Natchez, the biggest supporter of the Tiberious channel. If you need anything to accessorize your pew-pews, Natchez is a great place to look. Optics, pew-pews, accessories, lights, holsters, all that good stuff, they have you covered. Second, the shirt is from TriStar Trading. They are unofficially the official swag supporter of this channel, including the Tiberious Gibbs shirt. If you want to check out anything from Natchez or TriStar, you know where that link is. I appreciate it. Now, let's take a look at the trigger now that I'm done shilling to you guys. The trigger is good. It's better than a typical Glock factory trigger. Even the ones I compared, even the Glock triggers I compared to that are well broken in, this is definitely nicer. I have a feeling it's a Glock Performance Series trigger because it feels a lot like it. I don't know that to be a fact or not, but let's take a look. The take-up is very similar to a Glock. You have that good wall, mushiness, all that stuff going on, but the reset feels much nicer than a Glock. And that's why I have a feeling it may be a Glock Performance trigger. It breaks around 5 pounds. Either way, let's take that 10-second break so you can get up close and personal with the trigger and you can see what you think. What'd you think of the trigger? Is it a Glock Performance trigger? I think so. Definitely feels better than a standard Glock trigger. I don't know. Anyway, the rail on this gun is the same as a Glock Gen 3 rail. It has that single cutout, not multiple cutouts. With that said, it's been fine. I've put Surefire, Streamlight, Enforce, different lights on here. I didn't have any problems or issues. I want to talk a little bit about the speed ledges on both sides of this gun. When I first got it and was shooting it, I was not using those speed ledges for some reason. I don't know. The gun I carry has those speed ledges and I love them, but for some reason, I just wasn't using them. And the gun shot nice. I'm like, it shoots better than a Glock. I like it. I dig it. It's good. Towards the end of the review, I started really using those speed ledges, and there's something very comforting about that, again, because the gun I carry every day, most days, has those speed ledges. And once I started doing that, I was tearing up the steel. I mean, I was shooting well beyond my typical skills That's for sure. If you like speed ledgers, that's a good place to rest your thumb or your trigger finger. Slide release is a standard Glock Gen3 slide release. It's not the extended version, it's the normal version. So you lefties will be a little harder to lock the slide to release, lock the slide to the rear, and if you want to use it as a slide release like I do, lefties are bumming. So it's not the extended one, but as you just saw, it's not very hard to release the slide if you choose to use it as a slide release like I do. It's definitely not going to get snagged on anything because the standard Glock slide release is very, very tight to the gun, doesn't stick out very far. Let's talk a little bit about the slide itself. The slide is made from 416 stainless. That material is very good, very unlikely that it's going to rust or have any problems like that, especially with the black nitrite finish on it. Between nitrite and stainless steel, very unlikely you're going to have any rusting issues with the slide. Now, it's available in 4 different colors and 3 different types of slides. We're going to get into all of that in a second. The 4 different colors, besides the black, is gray, bronze, green, and FDE. And that's only available on the slide without the optics cut, I believe. And again, we'll get into more of that in just 2 seconds. The serrations on here are pretty good. They're not the best serrations I've ever seen. They are far, far, far from the worst serrations I've ever seen as well. They're definitely effective enough to run the gun from the front, from the back, up, down, below, however you do it, it's fine. The serrations are good enough. Sights I want to talk about as well because they're not plastic sights. Thank you, Zro Delta, for not having plastic sights on the guns. I hate those Glock plastic sights. The slide that comes with an optics cut is a blacked out set of sights. Blacked out front, blacked out rear, some serrations to cut out in the glare if that's such a thing, but they're all blacked out. There are backups if you need them, how it should be. The slide that does not come with an optics cut has a set of 3-dot white sights. So the front is white, the rear has 2 dots in the rear. Standard sights, again, not plastic, which is great. They're Glock pattern sights, so if you don't like either one of these, or you want suppressor height sights, or if you want to be cool and get night vision sights, as you should, there are Glock pattern sights, so replacing them is very, very easy to do. All right, let's talk about the optics cut and the different sights here. Okay, when I first saw the slides and the optics cut, I was kind of disappointed. I was like, don't like it. And once I fully read through it all and understood it, I'm cool with it. I like it. They did a good job. Zro Delta offered 3 different slide types to appease to as many people as possible and to have a more affordable option and a more expensive option, and they did a good job. This is the standard slide. They gave me both the optics cut and the standard slide with my sample. And I did shoot the standard slide a little bit. Yes, I shot irons for you. That's how much I love you. Hate irons. The standard slide, again, comes with those steel 3-dot night sights. It comes in around 400 beans, and that's one option. The second option is called the Deluxe, and that's going to be cut for an RMR specifically, so it's only going to work with RMR pattern optics. But you're going to be able to screw those optics right down to the slide without any accessory plates. So me personally, if I was going to buy one of these, I would buy the Deluxe because I'm not a big fan of those accessory plates. I like screwing the optic right down to the slide, have the least amount of screws that can break or come out, or just the less parts that can break, typically the better. So I would personally get the Deluxe, which comes in around $450 on the Zro Delta website. That's the one I would personally go with. And then they also have a super duper limited premium slide. When I saw this at first, that's why I was hesitant, because you use an accessory plate to get a wider variety of optics to work with the slide. And I think if this was the only option, I wouldn't like that. But because they have all 3 options to appeal to as many people as possible, I was like, okay, that's dope, that's smart. Not everyone wants an optic. Not everyone cares about the accessory plates like I do. So you can get several different accessory plates to work with a very wide variety of optics. You know, the Delta Point Pros and the RMS footprints. This is a Swamp Fox that's on here right now, so it's going to be the RMR footprint. And the super duper limited premium slide is going to come in around $500. So I think they did a good job with the slide options, again, to appeal to as many people as possible. All right, we're going to take this thing apart. It's the same as a Glock. It's not hard, but for you folks who don't know, I'll show you. And YouTube moderator person, this is allowed by YouTube rules. This is for cleaning. This is for maintenance. That is all. First thing we're going to do is make sure the gun is unloaded. You don't want to forget that part. Safety first. Pull the slide to the rear. Pull down on the 2 takedown levers. and then pull the trigger. And if you did it right, unlike me, the slide would have come right off. We're going to pull the slide a little bit to the rear, pull down on the takedown levers, pull the trigger, and then the slide comes off. See, most people would edit that out, but not me. I'm going to leave it right in. All right, the guide rod, the spring rather, is a captured spring on a plastic guide rod. I said that right. The barrel is a pretty standard barrel. It's made from 4140 material. It's 4 inches. They call it match grade. I don't think it really matters. All that matters is this barrel is going to outshoot 99% of you watching the video, including me. If you look inside the slide and the grip, it's going to look just like a Glock 19 because it's the same size and same parts as a Glock 19. Speaking of that, here are the dimensions. If you want to look at the dimensions and the weight and see what I mean, it is a Glock 19 clone, and it is very, very similar to a Glock 19. You can pause that if you want to look at it longer for some weird reason. Let's talk about the testing. I did just over the 500 rounds, probably closer to 600 rounds with this gun. In the beginning, the first magazine or two, I did have some failure to feeds. I don't know if it was the barrel or the ammo or whatever. I don't know if Zro Delta is going to have a break-in period on this gun like Shadow Systems. For example, Shadow System says the first 200 rounds, don't call us. There's a 100% break-in period. Shoot the gun a little, get used to it. It will break in and it will be fine. So I don't know if Zro Delta is going to say that or if I just had a hiccup with this gun, barrel, whatever. But the first couple mags had failure to feeds. Since that, though, it has been absolutely flawless. And I'm okay with a little bit of a break-in period on a gun. I'm not of the mindset as it can never have any malfunctions. As long as after that couple 100-round break-in period, it's good to go. I'm absolutely okay with that. And there was, after the first couple mags, there was no failures, no malfunctions, no issues, no problems, except for me slapping the trigger and missing the target. That is it. I did all the normal type of shooting. We did some running and gunning, did some drawing from a bag, some off-body carry. I do a lot of off-body carry in the summer, so I practiced that a little bit. We did inside the waistband drawing, outside the waistband. Being this is a Glock 19 size gun, it's kind of a jack of all trades gun. Like, some people will carry this, some people will use it at the range, home defense, self-defense. It's small enough to carry, it's big enough and effective enough to be used at the range. So I wanted to do a wide variety of training, and that's what I did. So biggest pro for me is going to be the grip. As I mentioned before, the grip looks good, it feels good, the angle is excellent, the texture is great, the speed ledges, I like the speed ledges a lot as well. It's good that it takes Glock parts. They're very plentiful and easy to get, so anything that takes Glock parts is very good. And I like the different optics cuts / the different slides. When I first saw it, I was hesitant and I didn't like it, but once I read up about it and I saw all the different options and the variety of options for different people, I was good to go. You know, the world is not just all about me, which is shocking. It has that standard slide if you want something a little less expensive and you don't use optics. You have the RMR only slide, which is the one I would go with, and you have the super duper ultra premium slide with the accessory plates if you want a wider variety of optics to work with the gun. So that's pretty good. As far as things I would change, the trigger is fine. The trigger's okay. It's good enough. It's not going to stop me from doing anything I need to do. So I put the trigger maybe in the middle. It's better than the Glock triggers I have. It's okay. The one thing that irks me, and you guys are going to make fun of me, and that's fine. You can tease me. Once in a while, man, my OCD flares up, and I don't think anyone else is going to care about this, but the slide, on the front of the slide has some design cues where it curves in, and the frame sticks out further than the front of the slide. And I'm shocked I even noticed this, but once I noticed it, I can't stop looking at it. And it just irks me. And I don't think any of you guys are going to care. I don't know. But it's an eyesore. Anyway, overall, it's a tough time to pick a Glock clone. Like, if you're going to get a Glock clone, which one do you pick? There's so many options. So many companies are making them. I would hate to have to, like, if I can only afford one Glock clone right now, I would hate to have to make the decision. As far as this one, it has a lot of the features we like. I think it's priced accordingly. They fixed a lot of the things about Glocks that a lot of us don't like the plastic sights and the grip angle and the grip texture and stuff like that. So they've done a lot of things right. Again, all the different slide options is kind of cool, but man, I don't know. It's a tough time to pick Glock clones. We are blessed with lots of good options at lots of good price points. Anyway, I gotta thank 3 people. Bear with me. I want to thank Zro Delta. They've been a good supporter of this channel, and that is appreciated. Very, very nice of them. Between the optics from US Optics, this gun, awesome. Very, very nice of them. So thank you. Notches, biggest supporter of the Tiberious Gib channel. Thank you to Notches. TriStar Trading is another great supporter of the Tiberious Gib channel. All of my clothing, all of my t-shirts are from TriStar Trading. They have a ton of good designs if this isn't your jammy jam. And the links to all 3 of those are down you know where. Now, most important, thank you guys for watching. It is greatly appreciated. If you think I deserve it, heck, even if you don't think I deserve it, like, comment, and subscribe. Subscribe is the big one. Trying to blow this up to 100,000 subs, and it's slow going. So if you think I deserve it, likes are great, comments are great, but definitely subscribe to the channel. That really helps me out. I appreciate it. Santa appreciates it. Stay blessed, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace!